welcome to Two Geeks and a Load Balancer. I'm Nathan, and this is
Matt Adam from the Avi product team.
all right. And we're asking questions around automation. Specifically today, I'd like to ask about how we deal with things like config drift. Uh, if we can kind of explain the high level of this,
Yeah,
and what are some of the solutions that we see to this?
definitely. So config drift is a problem. Most enterprises deal with some type of problem related to this. And essentially what config drift is that you could have similar templates or profiles across different environments, different load balancers, different network stack equipment. And even though they might have the same name, they could have different settings beneath them. A perfect example of this could be a TCP profile that exists in one load balancer might be the exact same name that's used in a different load balancer, but they might have different window settings on there or buffer settings or something like that. It's a major problem because it's hard to detect, and once you detect it, it's really hard to fix. You honestly can't go and modify a profile. Generally, you have to create a new one and migrate everything to that.
So every time we're deploying a new application or something like this, and an entire list of profiles, objects are created underneath this. And if one setting is different, then you have this unique object, and now you have a big mess when somebody's changed an HTTP profile. And okay, so
Absolutely.
what are some of the solutions to this?
Yeah, so a lot of the problems stem with human intervention, quite honestly, right? Whenever you're doing things manually, like creating profiles in one data center and manually creating them in a second data center, you're going to have that human element. Sometimes humans make mistakes. This is one of the strong points of
Are you
automation.
speaking for you or are you speaking for me?
I've made mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes.
Okay, all right, carry on. Sorry.
But generally, this is one of the things that automation is great at solving, right? Automation is great because you can define the perfect profile or the perfect template that you want to push across the board. And then with a very simple script, you can deploy that profile into all of those different load balancers, whether it be Avi or a different piece of the network stack. And because your configuration is managed in a separate source of truth, like a separate file, essentially, it's something that you can push every single night or once a week, and all the load balancers will get those updates so that you always have the same configuration used across the board.
Okay, so instead of managing 100 load balancers, we're managing one load balancing infrastructure. Load
Exactly.
balancing
One
service.
central location for those profiles and templates.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Cool. Anything else to add to that?
It's very easy to do. Don't feel overwhelmed just because we're using the word automation. This is a perfect place to start if your organization is looking at automating something. Automate your templates, automate your profiles.
Cool.
Very easy to do.
All right. Cool. Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.